Hi guys, welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, I'm going to teach you how to make a slider. Here you see that this is the slider. I have copied these images from the internet and I have make a jQuery slider. You have seen the slider in many websites where the images are coming and going. Uh, so that is the slider, and this is the important part. It is include it in every website today, and now I will teach you how to create this slider. And now here is my file. Here is it is empty, and here I have already downloaded all the images. Here you can see that this is the folder, all the 5 images. And now first of all, I'm gonna teach you from the start. First of all, to make a slider, what you need to do, you need images. You need images, high quality images. And now I'm going to tell you how to download the images, any image that you want. Here, let's say I want to include the image of Arnold Schwarzenegger in my slider. So how we can search the image like this, Arnold Schwarzenegger images. So here is it's Arnold Schwarzenegger images are present here. Here you can see that here is the Arnold Schwarzenegger images. But here I want to tell you something. The images that we include in the slider are of the same size, like here, and high quality. And here you see that these are the images. Here I'm gonna extra large these images. Here you see that when I click on the first image, so its size is 1920 1080, and here you see that it is also 1080. Third one is also the same size. All these images have the same size. So that's why here I want to tell you something. Always download the images of the same size and high quality. Here you see that its dimensions are too high. These images are 1080, so it means these images are high quality and these images are of the same size. And how we can search, here you see that these images are of the different sizes, but if we want the image of the same size, so how we can download it? Here in the Google, you have to go to the search tools and you have to click on size and you have to click on exactly, and here you can put the size of the image. If you want to download the image of the size 1080, so here is you have to put the width 1920, and here is the 1080 height of the image. You can put any width and height, so their images will be shown on the screen. So now here all these images are the 1080 and the same size. Here you can see that all of these images are 1920 by 1080. Here all the images are 1920 by 1080. So now here the size is, we have entered the size and now we can edit it. And you can also if we go to the larger than, so you can specify this size images 1600 by 1200, so it is more better, it have more resolution. And if you download these images 4 megapixel, so it is more better. But the images that the size that I have give, it is around about 1 to 1.5 megapixel. It's just okay. And now if we search any image here, so this size image 1080 images will be shown on the screen. Here is, let's search. Here I'm gonna search the images of Sylvester Stallone. Here is Sylvester Stallone, and here you see that the size that we have specified is still present and all the images are of the same size. So please download the same size images and the high quality images. And how to save the image, like if we want this image, so click on this image and then go to the view image. Here you have to click on view image. So now the image will open in the full screen, and you can decide whether it is high quality or not. So now here you see that this image is not look like high quality. So if it is assume that it is high quality, you have to right click on it and then you can save it, and you can directly save it. Right click on it and save as. So in this way you can download the images as many as you want, and you can download the same size images. And now I have already downloaded the images. Here you can see that these 5 images from the Google, and now these images are in the folders whose name is slider, and here is the slider file. Here is, I'm going to show you, this is the file, slider file, and I have rendered this file. And first thing that we need to include is we have to put the HTML. We have to include these images. Here you see that we have to put all of these images, and then what we need to do, we have to create these buttons, previous and next, and we have to fix these images in the center. And this loop or this slider functionality will be applied by the jQuery. So first of all, I'm gonna do the HTML in this video, so that is a little bit long. Here is, first of all, I'm gonna make a div. In this div we will place both buttons and the slider images, and here is I'm gonna give it class wrapper because it contain the images and the buttons both. And here I'm gonna make another div. In this div we will put the images. Here is its ID name is slider, and in this div we will put the images. And here outside this div we will create the buttons, previous and next. And now first of all we have to put the images, and here you see that the images are in the slider folder, and every image have the name 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's all. And here you see that all the images are JPG images. Here you can see that all have the same type. And now here I'm gonna insert the images like this, source, and here is, we have to write the folder name, then /, then 1.jpg. so the first image will be inserted, and here it is inserted. We will adjust it but leave it now. Here I'm gonna give it a ID 1 because it is the first image, and so I have given it the ID 1. And here I'm gonna copy it. Here is the second image, it have this second ID, and here is third image and it have the third ID. Why I am giving the 1, 2, 3 IDs in the numbers? Because it have a specific function to create the slider, so that's why I'm giving it the IDs in the numbers. And now all these images are inserted, and here you see that only the first image will be shown. So don't worry, I will adjust this thing. And now images are inserted, and here outside this div we have to put these buttons, previous and next. And here I want to tell you something. These buttons are the anchor tags. We have given them black background and some width and height and white color to the text. So how we can do it like this? This is the previous button, and here is previous. Here is hyperreference, and here is its ID is also previous. And now the second button, that is next. And here is its ID is next, and both buttons are created. and here I'm gonna load them. So here are the images, all of these images are inserted, but here are the buttons. We will give the height and width to these divs and the images, then it will be okay. And now we have to give it the CSS to adjust it, and then we have to apply the jQuery functionality. So let's start. Here is this, and here we have to apply the CSS. And first of all, we have to give the style to this wrapper div. So what is the wrapper div? Wrapper div is the div that contain both these images and this button, and the wrapper div have the width equal to the 1000 pixel, and so that's why this image also have the 1000 pixel width. So we have just give the images to the 1000 pixel width and 600 pixel height. And now let's give the width to this div that contain both things. Here is wrapper. Here I'm gonna give it the width 1000 pixel, but you can give the width as many as you want. And now let's check it. Now at this time there is nothing effect on the images because they are overflow. And here I'm also gonna give it margin 0 pixel auto to the div. So this div is in the center. Now here you can see that this div will become in the center, but images are too long. Here you see that the div that contain both the images and the buttons or in the center. This div is in the center. Here you can see that this is the center of the page. How it is in the center? Because we have give it margin 0 pixel auto. This is the default that I have create, but I'm just explaining you the things why I have give this margin 0 pixel auto. Here we cannot see its effect, but when we give it width and height, then it will be okay. And now we have to give the width and height to the slider div that contain the images. So here is slider div, and here is here I'm gonna give the width to this div is 1000 pixel. Here is 1000 pixel. Here is height. Here is 600 pixel. And then here is overflow. Here is hidden. So what is the overflow? Here I'm gonna show you. First of all, here you see that we have give the width and height to the div, so images must be in the div. But here I'm gonna show you. Here you see that these images are outside the div. Here you see that this is the 1000 pixel width and height, but these images are outside the div, so we have to provide the property overflow hidden. Here is overflow hidden, so the images that are outside the div will be height. Here is, you see that now it is okay. The slider div width is 1000, that's why image have the 1000 width, and image have not the 1000 width. It is only showing the 1000 pixel part of the image, and then the 600 is the height of the div. And we have give the property to the div overflow hidden, so the overflow that is outside the div is hidden. I'm just explaining this thing because there are many students who don't know the CSS, so that's why I'm explaining the things. And here you see that there are space from the above side, and here is little space, so I'm gonna increase it by giving the margin. Here is margin is 0 pixel auto. This, and after it, what we need to do, we have to give the width and height to the images. Like here you can see that this is a first image, but it is not shown completely because we have not given it the width and height. So here is the slider div, and then in the slider div we have the images. So now this style is going to apply on all the images that are in the slider div, and we have to give the width to the images equal to the width of the div, that is 1000 pixel, and here is the height of the images is 600 pixel. The original height and width of the images are too much, but we are giving the height and width according to our requirement. Here is, now here you see that the image is shown completely because its height and width is adjusted. And now here I'm also gonna give it the float left. Here is float left to just align the images so their position is selected on the left side. It will not create any problem, but in some cases. And now this is the first image, and there are 4 other images that are behind the image, so we have to apply the loop so images are come and go. So now we have to adjust these buttons. So let's start how we can adjust these buttons. I'm going to give the style to the buttons to both of the anchor tags. Here is both have the padding 5 pixel 5 pixel. So first 5 pixel is from the I think it is from the top and bottom, and the second from for the left and right, just in this like this. And then the background color for the anchor tags are black, and the color of the text is #FFF. And now let's check it, and here you see that, and we have to remove these underlines by making the text decoration none. Here is text decoration none. And then here is what we need to do. All the things are okay, and here is, now we have to give the float left to the previous button. Here you see that previous button is on the left side and the next button is on the right side, so we have to give it the float left and right. So here I'm gonna give by the IDs, by using their IDs. Here previous button have the float left, here is float left. Here is previous and next. Float right, next button is on the float right. And here is, you see that it is at this side. So now these things are okay. And now here you see that there is no differences added from the top side. I've just, and there is no difference on the bottom side to separate the buttons. Here is, we have given the 20 pixel from the top and the bottom, and auto from the left and right side. And now it is okay. Buttons are created. Now we have to apply the functionality on these things. So thank you for watching this video. From the next very video we are start doing the jQuery. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any problem, so kindly add the discussion. I will help you as much as I can.